His housekeeper mysteriously died, and then his wife and son were murdered. A roadside brush with death where a bullet grazed his head came next. I mean, holy cow, how can so many bad things happen to Alec Murdaugh? And what are we learning in the latest criminal indictment? Well, thanks for joining Profiling Evil for this quick review of the evolving case of South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh as the grand jury opened the way for 27 new criminal charges. Now, before we get started, please take a minute, hit that like and the subscribe button, folks. Please ring the bell so you get notifications and alerts on all of our new videos as they come out. Well, that's right. The South Carolina State Grand Jury agreed with the Attorney General, and they levied 27 new criminal charges against Murdaugh, accusing him of a whole batch of things, including stealing nearly $5 million over the last 5 years. That case surrounds the trip and fall accident that Murdaugh's housekeeper had in his home. Family says it led to her death, and they should have received about $3.5 million. Instead, Murdaugh kept the money. But it all remained his secret until his wife and son were murdered. Then he was shot at, and all of the secret stuff began to unravel. Let's take a minute and watch my appearance a few weeks ago on Court TV with Michael Ayala, where we talked a little bit about this case. You'll see me predicting then, in fact, this was 2 months ago, that this was going to be a whole lot more about Alec Murdaugh than anything else. And now those predictions are coming true as more people point the finger at him.
And welcome back to Closing Arguments. I'm Michael Ayala in tonight for Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, we begin this hour with updates in the Murdaugh murder mystery saga out of South Carolina. Now, if you don't know about this case and you love true crime, sit back and relax because this one is a doozy. And prominent lawyer Alec Murdaugh called 911 to report that he had been shot on a rural road near Vaughnville, South Carolina in Hampton County. Alec Murdaugh was airlifted to Memorial Health University Medical Center in Savannah, Georgia, for treatment of a superficial gunshot wound to the head. Now, Murdaugh's lawyer told local news outlets that his client was driving to Charleston when he stopped because of car trouble. Now, while the car was stopped, someone in another vehicle shot him. Now, this latest incident comes just 3 months after Alec found his wife Maggie and son Paul shot to death on their family property on June 7th. Now, law enforcement officials in South Carolina released the 911 call Alec made after finding the bodies of his family members. Let's listen to some of that call right now.
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency?
This is Alec Murdaugh. Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child just shot badly.
Okay, you said Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alec Murdaugh.
Okay, and did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am.
I want to ask you, Mike King, was there anything that jumped out at you about that particular press release? There's someone who's claiming to be shot, and nowhere does it mention that he was victimized, that he was shot. I just wonder if there's something about that jumps out at you.
Yeah, I think that random idea that somebody drives by, flips a U-turn, and comes back and shoots at a person is kind of a tough one to get over. I think we need to really see which side of the head was this graze wound on, which side is his dominant or his gun shooting hand, and there's going to be lots of evidence to support that. Is there physical evidence on him, gunshot residue or other things that might suggest that this was a self-inflicted thing? There is so much behaviorally happening in this particular case, Michael, that really causes you a lot of things to think about. I mean, you go back to the son's involvement with this negligent homicide that he was allegedly responsible for. And then all of a sudden what appears to be, to me, to be the primary target in that shooting, the son. The wife, my understanding was probably shot by a long-barreled rifle. And so was she there later discovering her son? Did this occur all at once? What's the physical evidence at the site looking like? But you know what? Everything keeps pointing back to the father and his involvement in the law firm. This idea that there has been money that's been moved around and pushed around, and now this revelation that there might be narcotics involved, it really starts to point to more what was going on in the financial affairs of the family early on, and were there addiction issues.
Mike King, to even complicate matters even more, the Murdaugh family, apparently a very well-connected family, and had a hand in hand-picking the current DA. There are charges that the DA has been sort of interfering in some of these investigations. I mean, that just complicates things even further. How do you go about uncovering what you need and doing what you need to do when you have these types of connections?
Yeah, I think everything is so public now that we're going to see lawyers recusing themselves and stepping away from this thing. The public's going to be quick to call out any relationships that are going on. So I think this thing is going to remain pretty clean. And while we might want to chase a conspiracy theory here and there, I really do think that the system is going to work adequately. I also think this is just like the perfect example of what we often teach when we look at profiling principles about the idea between the three portions of a person's life. And we're seeing it in true living color now, this private side of his life, a public side, and now a secret side. And as we get each of those pieces more defined, I think we're going to see some real interesting evidence raised to the surface.
Yeah, this is certainly one to watch. Jeffrey Collins, I believe Mike King was right. I believe the DA has recused himself from this case, correct? What a tangled web we weave. All right. A big thank you to Jeffrey Collins for joining us tonight. We truly appreciate you coming on with us to break this all down. Bobby Chacon, Mike King, you guys are standing by. It is time now for a quick break.
Well, the new indictments include breach of trust, obtaining property by false pretenses, money laundering, computer crimes, and forgery. These charges stem all across South Carolina, and they span over a number of years and includes multiple victims. Financial crimes are one thing, but we got to keep in mind that just 5 months ago, in June of 2021, Murdaugh called 911 to report that his wife, Maggie, and his youngest son, Paul, had been shot and killed in another unsolved case. Their murder now joins the civil suit from the deceased housekeeper and Murdaugh's former law partners who allege misappropriation of funds from their firm in this ever-growing conspiracy. What's going on there? I'm sure that many more secrets are going to be revealed as this case progresses through the criminal and civil courts. Well, as we approach the Thanksgiving weekend here in the United States, I want to take a minute and thank all of you for all you've done. I wish you a happy holiday season, surrounded by family and friends, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for your support of Profiling Evil and our efforts to add a little bit more to the true crime community. And folks, if you're looking for a gift idea, please consider picking up my two newest books, Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult, and She Knew No Fear. The proceeds from Deceived go to help the Children's Justice Center. Now, you can get signed copies of these hardbound versions with a special bundle price by visiting our website at profilingevil.com. And again, if you found this stuff to be useful, please take a minute, hit the like and the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting our notifications. And thanks again. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.